Hey there.
Hello. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
it is a pleasure to finally meet you.
You too. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. And I love your profile picture of Michael Myers drinking a Dr. Pepper.
It's one of my favorite, like, I love just like silly behind the scenes photos, and that's one of my favorite.
Yeah, same
So,
here.
but how are you today? How's your weekend been?
Oh, it's been pretty good. I've just been working, being being one of those Walmart people who wants to go home after working 8 hours.
I understand that completely. Before I any of this like, you know, entertainment stuff started working out full time, I worked as a butcher in a grocery store for 8 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so um and that was very much because I loved my job because I liked the people I worked with, but
Mm-hmm.
it was I basically was the closing guy every night, so it was 11:30 to 8 p.m. like.
Oh, I hate closing. I that's one of the reasons why I decided to work 4 to 1 because even though I get up early, I at least leave early because I have the whole day ahead of me and I just couldn't deal with working closing because it's just too stressful for me.
Yeah, no, I get that because then also it's like you get off, you're like, oh, I still have like a day to do things, as opposed to like, well, I'm just gonna go crash now that I'm done. So
Well, understandable. But I'm glad that we're able to do this. How are things been going with you on the animation side of things? Because I've seen that you're a pretty busy guy. I know you recently just got started working on a bunch of like horror stuff.
yeah, it's been really cool. I've been for the past few years working with my co-creator Ashley on our show Farfetched,
Oh,
our
I
pilot
cannot wait
for
for
it.
that.
Oh, thank you. And we did our Kickstarter to help finish it earlier this year, and basically since then it's we've been kind of on a roll with it. Our team has been super hard at work, and yeah, a lot of like really awesome animation and backgrounds and stuff have been coming in, and I'm so excited for that to be done and out so people can finally see it. Um, and then I've been doing stuff for I've been writing. Well, I finished up, but writing for the uh first season of the Lackadaisy animated series as well. And then recently, I can't reveal what the project is, but I was hired as a writer for Examination, who are a really cool company, and I've been working with them. So I've just been trying to stay busy and doing a lot of writing work with folks.
Well, hey, that's good, and I'm really excited for Farfetch. Fetch, one of my favorite characters is Quinn, that I'm really excited to see because I'm not gonna lie, I have the biggest crush on Quinn. I'm bisexual, so
I am as well. Actually, I very recently, like for the last 5 years, I had given myself the bisexual label, and recently I kind of was like, I definitely know that I'm queer, but maybe I'm more open to other things. So I've just been calling myself a queer ghoul. As but I'm in that same boat. And yeah, Quinn. What's fun about him is that um a lot of people are like, "Oh, Quinn's so pretty," and then you're gonna meet him, and you're like, he's kind of a butthole though. So
well,
yeah,
I like hot assholes.
it's fun. It's a fun dynamic because I also have a kind of a thing where like just the comedian in me kind of likes to subvert things. So like with him, it's like, oh, like a lot of people like, say like they're attracted to him, but then like make him like a little bit like uh just insufferable. Because in my mind, it's like that kind of messes with people in a funny way, you know?
I mean, I think people, regardless of personality or not, people are really gonna like um, Quinn, and you guys do have a great cast too. Um, one of them I think is played by Jonah Scott. Is that his name?
Yeah, Jonas Scott plays
From
Warren.
Beastars.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. He plays our character Warren, and he's wonderful. One of the nicest guys I know. And yeah, our whole cast has just been super super cool. Love working with them. They really get the characters. So yeah, and just this group of having like it's been so much fun to have these like characters and then also be able to like do all the music stuff with them being in a band and everything. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Has that Scooby Doo vibe to it too, as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's kind of funny because like we wanted it to be both sort of a homage and kind of a parody of that Scooby Doo formula because it is like you know like young adults kind of together in a group in a supernatural setting uh and then but then like the joke is like well what if we make everything as inconvenient as possible like instead of a roomy van for them to ride in it's a cramped ice cream truck full of instruments so they're super uncomfortable. What if their canine companion is actually just like a weird amalgamation creature? What if like and what if they have no money to do like anything? So, and I think that's kind of funny because like, if you put your characters in situations that are kind of, dire, I think you can get more excitement out of it. So,
But hey, I think it works, and I've been reading a bunch of like the web comics, and I've been following a lot about the animation process, like how things are going along. And I want to ask about that. Like, as somebody who is writing their own pilot, I think I might make it an almanac, though. I'm still trying to learn some things. I'm mainly just a voice actor. Explain to somebody and other people too who want to work in animation, like the process, like the pipelines and whatnot, how long it is, because I've been following this I think since 2019 or 2020. And at first I was like, I want this thing to happen, I want to see this now. But then as I grown more and more and I knew more about a little bit about animation, I know it takes too long, and people need to cook. I let
yeah, it's an unfortunate side effect with things with animation because it is such an intricate art form that it does take a long time. Even smaller projects can be uh can take a while, and it's a process I love, but it is unfortunately time consuming and expensive. Um, which is like some people ask, and to be fair, I do understand. It's like why is something like this taking so long? And I'm like I agree. I wish it didn't have to, but when you're kind of doing it on your own, um, and like self-funding it and everything, and you want to obviously you know pay everybody involved fairly and everything, so it will take longer because you want to do it right, which is why I guess we did end up doing the crowd fund because ever since then we've been able to expedite things because now we have the funds to kind of just have it worked on rapidly because the thing is that also we have to pay our own bills like
makes
in
sense.
this industry, like unless you're very lucky, which I'm glad people are, um you're most likely not going to be just working on one thing to get by. In the freelance entertainment industry, like I said, besides Far-Fetched, I have to work two other writing jobs and do voice acting work, and then occasionally also part-time just like retail stuff. So it's completely normal to have to do that, because it's just there's not a lot of money in this, truthfully. And it's definitely an industry where your passion comes first to make these things at the end of the
Hmm.
day. Because trust me, if this was if this was a viable payoff for a financial purpose, uh, it wouldn't be worth, working for 4 years on a little purple dog cartoon. It's strictly because we love it. So
Frankly, I think the wait is pretty worth it. And when people do see the pilot, I think people are really gonna like it, and I'm gonna be one of the first to watch it. And I may even like retweet it and talk about how much I love it because, well, when watching the teaser, I really love how vibrant the colors are. I really love how the characters move, the expressions and whatnot. And I hope that we get to see more of this.
well, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. I'm just so excited for people like you and others to see when it's done, because we've also, like, since that first teaser, it's come so far. And I'm glad you brought up the colors too, because like we've had so much fun, especially in the backgrounds, playing around with a lot of like really like dynamic lighting and like kind of like sort of like horror coded like color spectrums. Like I'm a big fan of like the Reanimator neon green and like the purple from stuff like other like Stuart Gordon films, and that's definitely reflected in what we're doing with it. And what I'm really excited about is that, like, yeah, we've shown off bits and pieces obviously, but like I really don't think people have any idea kind of where the pilot's going to go, because we've only shown off just kind of I'm not going to say the boring part because that's self-deprecating, but like um definitely it's going to ramp up. And think surprise people with how much fun we put into it. So
Well, I'm already, and I know I said this a lot, but I'm already excited for it. And another thing I want to ask is, what shows did you grew up on? Um, like the that help you in that influence you and Ashley to creating Far-Fetched.
yeah, I for me, one of the biggest ones that it very much inspired both my sense of humor and my love of like horror and monster stuff is my favorite show is The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy by
Oh, I
Marcel
love that.
Adams.
I love that show so much.
It is like kind of the pinnacle of like, a lot of my, the horror stuff I love, but also my really like kind of dumb and weird sense of humor comes from stuff like that. Um there's also um other shows like for Ashley, I know Danny Phantom was definitely a very big one. In fact, I believe that like Kira and Rue started off way back as like Danny Phantom OCs for them. Like way back in the day before we like made any of the other characters.
Hmm.
Um and then other stuff, there's a lot of like um also film influences for it for me, like stuff like Ghostbusters and Killer Clowns from Outer
I
Space.
love that movie. I just watched that on Halloween, and after getting um so terrified of watching it back when I was a kid, I started watching it, and it's still terrifying, but it's also pretty goofy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's funny. A lot of people have that same experience. Like, oh, it was so scary as a kid, and then if you rewatch it now, you realize like it is so silly, but the practical effects in it are so much fun.
exactly. Like, and the music is too, and the clowns are also just very terrifying. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have a phobia when it regards to clowns. Because this movie gave me that phobia as much as Chucky did for dolls a long time ago.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah. Oh man, especially the first one
I
where
love the first Child's Play. That still holds up well among horror movies. It still has that serious tone to it. It is up there with the likes of Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and Friday the 13th.
yeah, it's definitely has its place in as a classic, especially for the tail end of the 80s, because it's also really like a lot of a reoccurring thing with a lot of like major horror franchises is that the first one is always a classic, And then the second one is usually like, you know, pretty good. And then from that point on, they just kind of go off the rails.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's true. I mean, Child's Play 2 is considered by many people to be one of the best. Even
that's my favorite of
it
of
is like
them.
I really do like Child's Play 2. I think I like it better than the first one, though the first one has a special place in my heart. But something about the second one, like Chucky's personality coming, Andy and Kyle's relationship, Kyle in general is such a delight that Child's Play 2 is just up there as one of the best horror sequels of all time. And I think a lot of people agree with that.
100%. Like for me too, it's like my favorite. God, it's either my favorite movie or just top three of all time is Evil Dead 2, and that's an example right there of
I
like
need to
just
watch that.
and that's a movie that like once you watch it, you will never want to see a film directed any way but that way like ever again. It's just so fun and unique.
I still need to watch the Evil Dead series. I don't know why, but there's something about them that I just haven't watched, but I know I would love it because it's by Sam Raimi and I love the Spider-Man movies and I did watch a few clips of Evil Dead 2 and it does have that same level of campiness with Army of the Darkness, just upping the ante with regards to that stuff.
Yeah, Army of Darkness is one that I would if you don't like a lot of the like really extreme like gore stuff, even though it is over the top on purpose.
Oh, I love that. I love that stuff.
Army of Darkness is a great place to because that's just that movie is just one of the funniest movies ever made. So God, and it's also like I can quote every single word of that movie pretty much because it's just so fun.
Oh yeah, the iconic "This is my boomstick" line.
Yep. That this is my boomstick. There's good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun. Uh, Probably one of my favorites is uh, listen, pal, you ain't Jack and shit, and Jack left town, which is really good. I don't know, like there's just like I, it just they have way too much fun, and Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell together is just like a perfect formula. So
I mean, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, they're like a team. Like you can't do wrong with them. And I think my first introduction to Bruce Campbell was actually the Spider-Man movies, and I was confused as to why he's always in them. But then when I realized that these two knew each other, I think long before Evil Dead, it makes sense.
yeah, it's really interesting too because like I was obsessed and I still am with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. Spider-Man 2 is my favorite superhero movie of all time. Uh I'm also pretty sure that Alfred Molina's Doc Ock was my like queer awakening.
Oh, I
Um
love that guy. I love him so much. He has that voice when he
yep.
does some voice acting. Like I've heard him do some voice acting, and I think it was in Frozen 2. He does some other stuff as well.
Yeah, no, he's done quite a few of like interesting voice acting roles and he is just a great voice. He's a fantastic actor. I watched a stage play with him recently called Red about like being about being a painter and it was just phenomenal. But
Oh, I didn't know he paints.
oh no, he was just playing a character
Oh,
as
oh,
like it was a stage play.
oh,
But
okay.
um I'll say like it's really interesting too to look back um because Bruce Campbell played like the ring announcer in the first movie,
Mm-hmm.
the usher in the second movie, and then the French waiter in the third movie, and then you find out that there were released storyboards that when they wanted to make a fourth film, that it was going to turn out that he was Mysterio this whole time, messing with Peter Parker.
Really?
Yeah, no, you can look it up. It's basically their storyboards of like Bruce Campbell in the Mysterio costume, like being arrested and stuff for the fourth movie. And all those three, like, they were just going to be different roles of him just messing with Peter Parker. And it was
Oh,
going to pay
wow.
off in the fourth movie.
Man, I wish we could have gotten that fourth movie. Hopefully we do at some point in the future, but I mean, I'm glad what we got with the trilogy, because I did like Spider-Man 3 despite its, well, mixed reactions.
I think, God, I think that movie is overhated. It's not a good movie,
It's
but
not.
let me tell you something. One of my most like quoted memes and stuff and just jokes is the emo Peter Parker stuff from
Oh
that
my God,
movie.
the emo Peter.
Like in fact, straight up, like in Far-Fetched, our character Drain, the EDM vampire, is basically just like him to an extreme, and we just like put so much of that like character into it as a joke. Um, and and I'm just like, guys, I don't think you understand because Sam Raimi did not want to do Venom because he thought it would be too much, but Sony made him. I am 90% sure that all the goofy emo Peter stuff is him like giving the middle finger to Sony for
It
making him
seemed
do
like
it.
it because he did not want to do Venom in that movie. You can tell how Venom acted, like how Eddie Brock acted. Like I think they were probably the weakest part of that movie for me. But overall, I think the movie is fine. It's a guilty pleasure. It's like Transformers 2007 for me. That movie is not good and none of the Bay movies are not good, but they have a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you can still enjoy it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. One of the most unintentionally hilarious scenes in all of cinema is Eddie Brock going to a church and praying to God to kill Peter Parker. Like,
I was baffled by that. Even as a kid, I'm like,
like,
who asked that?
yeah, it's like oh my God, and just the way that it's just like so straightforward. God, it's just so silly.
It is like it's a silly movie, but it still has heart to it. And I do like these movies, and I think they're up there with the likes of all the best ones as the best superhero movies like Iron Man and well there's a lot
Yeah,
that I
I'm a
have.
big I've kind of fallen out with most of the Marvel stuff.
I have two.
I still like I've been a Spider-Man fan since I was a kid collecting the comics, so I will keep up with all the Spider-Man films, and I really enjoyed all the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Um, but most of the other stuff, yeah. I mean, like the Avengers movies, I'm like these are fun to go see with friends, but like I'm not gonna,
Like I've
you
kind of fallen out with the MCU a little bit. I mean, there's some good stuff that came out, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman. But
yes.
there are some movies that I don't know, just kind of felt that just kind of falter with me, like Ant-Man. Like
It's a shame too because Ant-Man was originally going to be directed by Edgar Wright, which could have been so
I heard
cool.
about that. I there were still some elements of that in the first movie. I think the first movie is good. The second movie and the third one are just meh.
Yes, I never saw the second one. I saw the third one. God, this was such a miserable day. I had unfortunately I have pet rats, and my pet ranch, who I was very close with, I had to bring to the animal hospital because she we had found a growth on her, and they were like, "Well, it's gonna be a couple hours, so you might want to go out and do something." So my friend and I, who we went to the hospital with, we were just like, "Well, I guess we'll go see Ant-Man 3." And then I came out, and I was like, I was already feeling terrible because I was worried about my pet, and then I came out and I felt even worse because I'm like, that movie sucked.
It was a
So,
horrible movie.
yeah,
But are your rats okay?
she unfortunately passed.
Hmm.
But that was obviously a couple of years ago when that movie came out. But I have two more right now named Ranch and Opal. Not Ranch, sorry,
Aw.
Ripley and Opal, and they're hanging out in their little rat hotel I have for them.
Aw.
So
Oh, here's my next question is I read that you guys you and Ashley you both co-wrote it the Has Been Hotel pilot. What was it like working on that?
Yeah, that was kind of my first real big, like, I guess, introduction into this space. I wrote for the Has-Been pilot, and then Ashley did cleanup and animation
Hmm.
for it. And yeah, it was really cool. That's how we met, became friends. That's how I met a lot of my friends to this day. And yeah, that was my first big ever real like writing job, which is like really cool because it's gone on to, uh be what it is now. So that's really really cool.
I think you guys is what made the pilot very good. I remember watching it back in October of 2019. I was surprised at what it was, and like it was zany, but I loved it because it had that old 2000s cartoon um feel to it. And I think the voice acting was very stellar. Like Jill Harris as Charlie was pretty good. Edward Bosco as Alistair was great, and it was just a fun pilot. And I was very surprising to see where it lead because it was one of the biggest the highest views of any animated animation on YouTube. Well, until it was beaten by the Amazing Digital Circus, which is also a good one.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like it's very humbling. I'll admit, like it was a little overwhelming at first when saw just the attention it got after working on it for so long. But it's wonderful, and yeah, like I said, it was really really cool to work on, and the people I got to work with, and Digital Circus too, because I'm Goose is a good friend of mine, and it's so cool to see how much that has taken off as well. So yeah, it's really awesome, to be able to be a part of this space and contribute. It's really cool.
Well, that's good. And I think another one is like a question I had is what are some recent shows that have come out like in terms of animation that you've watched, like say Amphibia, The Owl House, and some new pilots that have come out too, like The Knights of Guinevere.
Yeah, the ones that well, The Owl House is one of my favorite shows of all time.
I think it got screwed bad by Disney.
Yeah, it did, and you can definitely see a little bit of that reflection in, you know, in the what Knights of Guinevere is about, which I think is awesome. And then also I am a huge, huge fan of the Gaslight District. The
Oh my God, I've seen that. It looks so great. I love how stop motion it is. Like it
yeah, my because my favorite form of animation, I love all animation, but stop motion and claymation stuff is my favorite. And also just like everything about that pilot is 100% just my aesthetic. And I'm just in I'm like I don't fanboy. I mean I share as many indie projects as I can because I want, this space to just be, as successful as it can be for all these different creators. That one though, I was really fanboying out about because I just loved it so much. Um, and I recently got to meet the creator Nick, and he is just so cool and sweet, and like that same level of just passion for like monster and horror stuff. So I'm really glad that I got on that wagon for loving that show because I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, same here because I was very surprised with not surprised, but more of like I was I can't find the words. Like I was mesmerized, basically. Like I loved how the animation was. I liked how the characters were and how how raunchy the settings were, how dark but yet funny it is. Like it was like it's like one of those stop motions back in the 2000s that I really liked.
It has that. aesthetic of stuff like Henry Selick's work for because The Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies of all time, and then like Ken from there. It's really funny for me because like as I mentioned, like someone who was a butcher for 8 years, you got that, and then like he's basically like Butcher Oogie Boogie if he was a good dad, and I'm like, oh, that's the perfect character. Like, so
Well, hey, like, glad he's relatable to you. Plus, I really like that, you know? Now, my last question, because we're out of time, because I had to upgrade to Pro and whatnot, though I'll do that in the future. But my last question for you, and this is a Halloween one, like the movies in general. Do you think the movies should have been an anthology series?
like the original series.
Yes,
You know what? I've thought about this a few times myself because um with the exception of the original Halloween, I think Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is the best of the series
I
except for
love
the
how
first
Season the
one.
Witch.
In fact, I have a tattoo. My first tattoo I have is of like a jack-o'-lantern with half of its face melting into a skull, which is kind of inspired by that movie.
Hey, that's cool.
Um so part of me says yes because I think that there could have been so much to do with just different stories on Halloween night for that series, and Season of the Witch proves that. Also, the fact that it was way more interesting at the end of the original Halloween, which is a masterpiece, how it ends just so simply. Like that story wraps up even though Michael disappears.
Yeah,
You
like
don't
the
you don't need to know where he went or
mhm.
anything, you know?
Like it adds to the mystique of Michael Myers. Like he's he's not human. Like evil doesn't die; it changes shape. Basically,
Exactly.
what she says in Halloween Ends and Kills. And speaking of that, I do like Halloween Kills and End. I think they're pretty good for what they are.
So my thing with the new Halloween trilogy is it reminded me a little bit of the new Star Wars trilogy, where like I feel like they didn't have really a clear plan with what they were gonna do with it because like the first one was I enjoyed the first one because it was pretty much a for the most part kind of a clear cut just soft reboot of the original. Halloween Kills it's grown on me over time, but I won't lie. The first time I saw it, I was like, the whole "evil dies tonight" thing
Yeah.
was kind of obnoxious.
Or the whole fact that people just be, I mean, people be stupid, but to be fair, fear can lead to irrationality. But still, there were
Yes,
some instances like the nurse getting shot by her own gun. That was a meme that just really encapsulates like what Halloween Kills is to a lot of people.
yeah, and also like the big thing for me was too like I actually kind of got excited when like they were beating the hell out of Michael Myers, and I'm like, oh my god, are they gonna actually like do this and do something different? And then the last 2 minutes, he just gets back up, kills everyone, and then all these other characters, and it just ends. And I'm like, okay, like it almost felt like a whiplash, where it's like, no, he can't die because we have another movie to make.
Yeah, that movie ends. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of look back on Halloween Ends, and I think it's actually a pretty good movie. I do like they were trying to do something different, like Season of the Witch, and like how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a commentary on people, like how people tend to like blame people on blame other people on something else, like how people think that Lori provoked Michael, or like how people thought Corey killed that kid. I mean, he did, but he it was an accident, and people try to use try to use that to hate on him to the point where even the kid's dad basically said that they're basically taking their own hurt for what happened to his son onto them.
Yeah, because the thing was is that like that beginning of that movie with how the kid like falls and dies is pretty shocking.
It
I will
was.
say. Um, and there are a lot of elements about that movie I like. I know there are people with particularly Halloween Ends. That is a like people either love or hate that movie. Um, I think it's okay. Like I enjoyed it probably more than Halloween Kills. Um, for the same reason where like it tried to do something different, but at the same time, it was like I don't know. There were elements of it that I'm like you could have worked this out more. Um, so to answer, I think your original question, I'm like because I'm also a sucker for just anthology series of things. I'm a massive Tales from the Crypt fan. So and Twilight Zone. So to answer your question, I think it could have been interesting if they had gone that route.
I mean, it would have saved us from stuff like Halloween, Revenge of Michael Myers, Curse of Michael Myers.
Like those, and then the Rob Zombie movies are almost kind of so bad they're enjoyable.
The first one I
Um,
thought was pretty good, was okay. Like I didn't like the whole making Michael Myers into like this bully kid who lives in this trailer trash dialogue, and I did not particularly care about that scene. What happened to that patient with those two security guards? I am vocal about that. I do not
yeah,
like that at all.
that's a lot. Also, I mean that you can definitely tell that those are just Rob Zombie movies.
They are.
Nobody
They are.
else could, have done what for that. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
the best part of those movies is that Weird Al shows up for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Brad Dourif was pretty good too. Like you can't do wrong with Brad Dourif.
No, you can't. Brad Dourif. You want to talk about underrated voice actors? Because people know Brad Dourif for Chucky, but he is one of my voice acting heroes with just the things he can do. Not just with
Same
Chucky,
here.
but have you ever seen Exorcist 3? When he's the Gemini killer in that movie, it is one of the most incredible performances ever.
Hmm. Have to look that up after this because I do want to see more of Brad Dourif. I know he's retired. He does Chucky now, but I do like to see a lot of his old work because that dude is just an icon.
It is. It's God, he just a lot of the people who inspire me, especially in voice acting, which I don't know if this makes me kind of stand out a little bit in the community because everybody has their inspirations. But all of mine are like character actors, and I think that's because like me personally, like in voice acting, I love it, but like I very much have just like a very weird voice
Nah,
that
same here. I mean, hey, I still use that for my voice acting.
yeah, like I think it makes us unique in the
Hmm.
best way. Because like the people like I look up to are like Brad Dourif and Vincent Price and God, there's a ton of them. I made a list the other day. Uh, People with very unique voices like Dana Snyder and Mr. Lawrence,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I just think that character actors like that are really cool.
Hey, I agree with you there, man. And sadly, we're gonna have to end this because the remaining meeting time is like 1 minute and 1 minute. So I wish I had more time because I wish I had more of the upgrade, but I was glad I was able to talk to you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I really appreciate you reaching out and wanting to chat with me. This has been a lot of fun.
I've wanted to chat to you for a while because like I like to talk to another horror fan about horror stuff, and about your pilot, and I can't wait to see that, and I hope we get to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. I'd love to chat with you again. So I hope you have a great rest of your day and thank you so much.
You as well, man. Keep doing the good work and take plenty of rest.
You too. We all need it. So
Yeah, same here. All right, see you, man.
see you. Take care.
You as well.